Hi, I'm Mattia Moliterni from Roscioli, New York City, and today we make our perfect version of pasta, burro and Parmigiano. Roscioli is a family business. Everything started in Rome in 1972 with a bakery. We opened in 2023 the restaurant here in Soho in New York City. It's very simple, just the three ingredients, the pasta, the butter and the Parmigiano Reggiano. In some ways a home dish, but it's extremely tasty, it's extremely rich. This is going to happen quickly. The first things that we do is to cook our pasta. For this recipe we use macaroni. It's a shape that is very similar to a rigatone. It's coming from an artisan producer in the central part of Italy on the East Coast. With this pasta you have more surface area. You can see that thanks to the bronze dyes the pasta is very rough and is great to catch the sauce. When the salted butter is boiling we can add our macaroni. We want to cook them not exactly al dente, we want to remove them, let's say a couple of minutes before the pasta is perfectly cooked. The type of cheese that we use for this pasta is very important. We use Parmigiano Reggiano. There are many different types of Parmigiano Reggiano. We tried the multiple combinations. In terms of aging, 24-30 months, I wouldn't go over that aging because otherwise the cheese gets too dry, too salty. We grate our Parmigiano very fine using a machine that we have in another section in the kitchen. To get to this very fine texture, at home you can just use your grate, the small holes. It's going to be way better and it's going to be way easier to make the cream. For this pasta, since you have very few ingredients, using a real Parmigiano Reggiano would help a lot. So if you see the stamp here, it means that it's authentic. For this recipe we use butter demi-sel from Normandy in France. The amount of fat average is slightly higher than the one that you find in the Italian butter rather than American butter. For French butter, usually the demi-sel is additioned with crystals of salt and it's even fermented. This gives a little bit of acidic flavor which makes this butter extremely unique. For this recipe I would recommend to use a butter that is high on fat, slightly salty like the demi-sel that we are using right now. I would recommend you to leave the butter in the fridge until the pasta is ready. It will make way easier to emulsify the pasta and thanks to the thermic shock it's going to be way more creamy. We want to use a pan with high walls. When you emulsify it, when you are melting the pasta, it's going to be way easier to have it creamy. Pasta is almost cooked. It requires 2 minutes in the pan, not more than that. A bit of water, it's not a big problem, it's going to help. The pasta releases starch and so it helps to make it very creamy. This is not the kind of recipe where we want too much starch because all the ingredients are already very creamy. And you put the heat like a high level, you melt it for a couple of minutes. As soon as you see that it's reducing, you can turn off the fire. And once the fire is turned off, add the Parmigiano Reggiano. Now, this is very important because when you add Parmigiano Reggiano, it's like the tricky moment because if the pan is too hot, Parmigiano Reggiano is going to become chewy right away. At the same time, we have to go fast because we don't want to eat pasta cold. So this is an important moment, is an important step. The goal here is to have a pasta that is perfectly creamy. The sauce has to be very smooth. Adding pasta water with the starch little by little, it's a big help. Don't add too much water because then if the pasta is too watery you will have to put back other Parmigiano Reggiano and it's going to unbalance the flavor because probably it's going to become too salty. This whole process should take not more than a couple of minutes because again you don't need too much starch. It's time to plate. Macaroni in the pan, you see that are perfectly glazed. Now the last thing to do is take a little bit of Parmigiano Reggiano and you add it on top and it's done. Quick and easy, and now we can eat it. This is actually my favorite pasta. Pretty good. The pasta is al dente, it's extremely creamy, you can feel the flavor of this beautiful butter, and the Parmigiano Reggiano gives the right saltiness. It's not too strong, it's not overwhelming. I mean, so easy, so simple, but so tasty, it's delicious. Just a few ingredients, but a lot of flavors, a lot of complexity. Is very rich, but at the same time not too fatty. You can impress people with a very simple recipe. Just don't call it butter noodles. Is pasta, burro, and Parmigiano Reggiano.